If you want love, you're gonna have to go through the pain. If you want love, you're gonna have to learn how to change. If you want trust, you're gonna have to give some away. If you want love, if you want love, if you want love, if you want love, if you want trust. Trust, you're gonna have to give some away. If you want love.
live. Marijuana keeping y'all connected. Hashtagging these red eye, changing the viewers. I red, keep it under age, smoking off of social media, chilling ourselves for your entertainment. Sitting here with friends and family. Y'all starting a cannabisation. This is the places to be to smoke weed, marijuana, get high, learn, get educated, y'all. This is the place to be. I appreciate people coming in, hanging out. You can be anywhere in the world, but decide to be here with me. I highly appreciate it. There's literally nothing going on but the Joneses. Y'all, conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories is a term that we use maybe lightly, or you may call somebody conspiracy theories and you be calling them crazy. You would call them like you don't know what you're talking about. You need to go somewhere. You sit there and really think about things that you're talking about. We're talking about conspiracy theories. We're talking about people who goes off he say she says goes off somebody that sits in a basement with their mom and pops and stuff like that, and they rant, they vent, and they tell things. Well, there's a lot of conspiracy theory that has been going on in the world, in America, across seas, but this one that has been hitting the fan today and recently has been hitting the fans. Obama's uh, Obama chef cook passed away drowning. It's R.I.P. to the cook. You know what I'm saying? May he rest in peace. We never want to wish bad upon nobody. You know, we don't. We don't want bad upon nobody. I got some good green. Some good green. Yeah, it's so green y'all can see it through the bag. Mm-hmm. Set that mug right there. Speaking to the weed, speaking to the blunt. Speaking to the blunt. But conspiracy theories, let's get back on that. I haven't lost my thought. I haven't went nowhere. Conspiracy, what's up, Bam Bam? How you doing, man? Appreciate you. Everybody stopping through yet again. Not only as Obama now, so-called guy passed away from drowning, but this is not the only case in conspiracy theories and stuff like that. I don't know, man. Remember, y'all, Joe Biden and the Hunter family is actually up for debate and prosecution and stuff like that. Should be getting vetoed. Everybody's love for him to get vetoed and stuff like that. I would like for him to get vetoed too, but like I told y'all, the president's not gonna get vetoed until we come up with until y'all can get out of office. But this article that just got done, I actually started watching. Did I watch it? Yeah, I know I watched it. I'm gonna let y'all hear this because it was interesting to me. It was very interesting to me. Yet again, this is what starts conspiracy theories. This is what starts stuff like that. And all it takes is facts from here, facts from there.
So we talk about this stuff. You can say, Pat, you're crazy. That's insane. It's not fair. What about this? What about that? Some of you may say, like, when I did the interview with Anthony Weiner, and obviously I said I would never bring up Frazzle Drip because it's irresponsible, right? I would never bring up the 9 out of 12 cops that committed a suicide within a few months. That's irresponsible. And then I talk about why are all these people
dying.
And I said, your reaction is an answer to Anthony Weiner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And media reacts to it. People write about it. There's all these other videos, but guess what happened? Maybe it influenced a few people to go look into it and say, why is this happening?
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, just this couple days ago, yesterday, story comes out about what? A story comes out about Barack Obama's chef,
personal chef.
911 phone call for Obama's chef reported possibly drowning. Martha's Vineyard is plunged into chaos as body of ex-president's cook, 45 years old, is found 100 feet from shore in paddle boarding drowning accident. Let me read the story to you. And we're not tying the two together, by the way. This is just the story of people to do research. So it says, Tafari Campbell, great name, a former chef for the Obamas, was found dead in 8 feet of water after a possible drowning incident while paddleboarding on Edgartown, Great Pond, Massachusetts. Witnesses saw him struggling to stay afloat before he went underwater around 7:46 p.m. Massachusetts State Police, U.S. Coast Guard, and local authorities, including Edgartown Fire and Air Wing, were part of the rescue mission. Michelle and Barack Obama paid tribute to Campbell, stating Tafari was a beloved part of our family, a warm, fun, extraordinary kind of person who made all of our lives a little brighter. Campbell was known for brewing White House honey ale beer and was one of the 4 White House cooks asked to stay under the Obama administration. When the story first broke, a lot of different media outlets said the fact that he didn't know how to swim. Matter of fact, there was a post of Instagram of him, hashtag still don't know how to swim or something like that. I don't know if you saw that or not, where he didn't know how to swim. And then a video appeared, Rob. I don't know if you have the video or not. There's a video of him swimming right there. This is him on Twitter. If you can play this clip.
He knows how to swim, Pat.
So this is him swimming. That's pretty solid to swim like that. That's backstroke that he's doing there.
Like he has flippers on.
He says progress, fit chef. And
fit chef, there's one where he's doing the backstroke, he's doing the butterfly.
Yeah, so this is him. I don't know if I would call him an Olympic swimmer, but I think he knows how to swim. Okay. And if you're in 8 feet of water and you don't know how to swim, all you got to do is
look, he's doing the backstroke.
Yeah. So look, the story first said he didn't know how to swim. Then this came out that he knew how to swim. By the way, he had twin sons with his wife. He had twin sons with his wife, and the story is out. While we're watching this, Alper, my chef, is standing next to me saying, Alper, did you see this story? He's kind of like, I was saying earlier, he ran out. I haven't seen him since. He just took off.
Because he doesn't know how to swim.
Yeah, did you see? Well, first of all, paddleboarding, there's no weight, there's no waves, there's no nothing. It was late at night. He was with somebody else. He was with another male, which nobody knows what happened to that guy. And then Hillary Clinton, I guess, had the same, not a swimming incident, but didn't one of her chefs pass away? This guy, he died by drowning in 2015. It's just a weird.
It's a weird coincidence that cooks can't swim or can swim and drown. That's a problem. That's something that's yet again, this is how conspiracy theories start. This is a start of putting patterns together and you just want answers.
It's just weird coincidences that these people are just randomly drowning and dying. And mind you, if you're not home, is your personal chef chilling at your house and swimming? And is Albert hanging out at your house when you're not there?
When I'm not there, no. But I don't think that's that would be the reason to jump into conclusion that something could be happening. The whole point is when something like this happened, like, for example, I went and ate at this one restaurant, MC Chef, I don't know what it's called. It's a beautiful place in Miami. And Sam and I are there, and I said, so tell me the history about this restaurant. I asked the waiter, and the waiter says, oh, you don't know the story of this restaurant? No. He says, the chef used to cook for the Miami Heat all the time. So LeBron, Wade, everybody would come here all the time. I said, no way. He says, yes. He says, you know what happened? I said, what? He says, LeBron liked the chef so much that he hired him, and they moved to LA with him. I was like, oh, cool.
Nice.
Because this happens. Like, for me, there's a guy right here I like to go to, a restaurant I go to. I really like the way he does things. If one day I run a restaurant or we do anything, I would like him to come with us because I trust him. There's a relationship with a chef. So Obama's obviously trusted these guys. So let's just kind of look at it without jumping into conclusion with anything. They like the chef so much, they said, hey, why don't you come and be a chef for us? So take all the other stuff that people are speculating. Something could have happened. Something was natural. It took place. It's tragic, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Great. They were out of town. Something like this happened. Now, the other side is, if you can play this clip, this is from June 24th of 2015. If you want to play this.
Now know how Walter Sheeb died. His body was found Sunday night just off the Yerba Canyon trailhead in very rugged terrain. New Mexico State Police say after an autopsy, the medical investigator reports Sheeb drowned, and his death is officially an accident. Sheeb moved to Taos in March. A friend told our partners, the Journal, he may have been trying to be closer to President Bush, and he previously worked as a chef in the White House, first under Bill Clinton, and stayed on when George W. Bush took over. Last night, President Clinton released a statement reading in part, Hillary and I are saddened by the tragic passing of former White House executive chef Walter Scheib. Our family was grateful to have Walter with us in the White House for 6 years, where we and visitors from around the world loved his delicious and creative meals. And former First Lady Laura Bush added, President Bush and I are saddened by the tragic death of former White House executive chef Walter Scheib. Walter was an outstanding talent. He prepared magnificent dinners for world leaders and delicious fare for our family and friends. George and I send our heartfelt sympathy to
Great.
Walter's loved ones.
Nice.
What I would say a couple things. Number one, moving forward, before you become a chef at the White House, you have to take a 1-month swimming lesson.
100%.
Like that has to be mandatory
100%.
moving forward, because we can't afford these
Yeah.
steps. It's a pattern. So now somebody may say, come on, guys, I can't believe you're going there. Do you know establishment presidents, chef, drowning, all those three are pretty establishment type of presidents. A little bit weird that the average person is saying that's kind of weird, right? So why do we talk about this kind of stuff? We're not talking about the educational system. Is there reason to send your kids to school or not? You know what it does? Somebody watches it and they go take a deeper dive and say, this is my cause. The other night, we're doing an event here with Dave Smith. We're in the back having cigars with a bunch of different guys, and everybody's asking these questions and saying, so what do I do next? What is my cause? What is my fight? What is my this? There's about 100 fights you can pick and choose, okay? One could be you don't like the educational system in America. Be obsessed about it. Go study every single thing you can about the educational system in different countries. What's right? What's wrong? What works? What doesn't? Become maniacal about that one topic. Another one could be what's going on with LGBTQ in schools and what they're doing. Go spend hundreds of hours just studying that topic, know so much about it on how other countries handle it, and come out and say, why are we doing this? This is kind of weird. When did this happen? Like the video we did with the LGBTQ video in schools being exposed, the dark side of it. Go do your own due diligence with it. But the point is, we do this podcast and we bring variety of guests for it to spark. Like I just watched right now in the comment section, Eric Rodriguez, it's Scott Rodriguez, I'm sorry. Scott Rodriguez has been a member of PBD Podcast, paying on a monthly basis for 13 months now. Congratulations,
Congrats.
Scott. We appreciate your loyalty. But he just quietly, we don't normally recognize these guys. He just bought 10 memberships for other members to
Sick.
be on the PBD Podcast. Right
Sick.
now, he did that. Shout out to you, Scott. I'm sure we're going to
Scott,
see you
let's
with
go,
the
baby.
Vivex event.
He's the one that
Thank you
gave
for
you
the
the
support.
World War II.
He's the one that
backpack,
gave me a
right?
sick gift that got me emotional when I read the note. But we do this, and then people go, and they can come back and send an email and say, Pat, this is where you were wrong. All ears.
Great.
I want to read about it. Tell me, expose it. Or Pat, I didn't think you even went that deep into it. You guys should have gone deeper. Or Vinny, that one thing you talked about, read this article. Hey, Tom, can you read that article? Hey, Adam, can you read this article? And then the stories go.
The stories go viral. Yet again, basically what we're saying is we're going to take a conspiracy theory and we're going to put all our resources together and we're going to see if it's real. Then it's not a conspiracy theory. It's a real true fact. These are really things that are going on. You need to get to the bottom of it. You need to find out what's going on. Who's doing what? What is doing happen? These are things we're looking for. Okay? If it's not true, then it is a conspiracy theory, and we're just going to let it go. We're going to leave it alone. It's not important to discuss because there's no discovery like that. Just sit at the table. Hey, man, I heard that Shirley down the table had a big toe. Well, everybody talking about Shirley big toe around town until Shirley shows her big toe out in public. So it's a conspiracy theory all until she showed the facts. Is it true or not? See what I'm saying? This is what we got to look for. And this is why this specific story is now being brought out as a conspiracy theory. Now, we're probably not the only people that cover this. There's probably so many different people that's covering this. It's like, man, I wish somebody would see it. And now people are seeing it. Happy. We just need more facts.
More and more and more. But I think it's just a little bit weird that all of a sudden chefs have a pattern of disappearing from 3 presidents that are very close to each
Pat,
other.
I'm all about patterns, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but isn't it weird? You tweet at Hillary yesterday, and all of a sudden your plumbing is something's wrong with your plumbing. I'm just throwing that out there, Pat. Something's wrong with this plumbing all of a sudden, in a multi-million-dollar house, all of a sudden there's poop stuck in the pipes. I don't know, Pat. I
Yeah,
don't know.
suddenly you have a sewage fountain and reflecting pool in front. And it's like,
Yeah,
I
not
think-
if you
I
that's
say
Hillary.
one
You
and
saw
a
what
half-
happened to Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She looks like an alien now. You got to be careful, Pat. Don't
I
ever
think
tweet at Hillary
it's
again.
perfectly acceptable for the.
Although the most
line of
interesting thing of the whole
questioning
thing
that,
is the Clinton quote about losing their chef was actually dated a week before he died. So it's sort of interesting. Maybe they were going to be out of
Weird.
town. They were going to be out. They were going to be out of town the following week, and
That's wow. Y'all heard that.
had to just be sure they, you
Yeah.
know.
I think it's perfectly
God.
acceptable
So
for the line of questioning that you used on Anthony Weiner, especially how close he was with the Clintons and all the stories and the narrative that have been surrounding that. At the same time, let's not acceptable for the.
Although the most
line of
interesting thing of the whole
questioning
thing
that-
is the
all of a sudden, in a multi-million-dollar house, all of a sudden, there's poop stuck in the pipes. I don't know, Pat. That's
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know.
suddenly you have a sewage fountain and reflecting pool in front. And it's like,
yeah.
I
not
think-
if you
I
That's
say
think-
Hillary.
one
You
and
saw
a
what
half-
happened to Debbie Wasserman Schultz. She looks like an alien now. You got to be careful, Pat. Don't
I
ever
think
tweet at Hillary
it's
again.
perfectly acceptable for the.
Although the most
line
interesting thing of the whole
questioning
thing is the Clinton quote about losing their chef was actually dated a week before he died. So it's
How can you send your prayers out to somebody that's not dead yet? Joe Biden went to celebrate Marines that died and wasn't dead. Does it seem like is it a Democratic thing?
sort of interesting. Maybe they were going to be out of
Weird.
town. They were going to be out. They were going to be out of town the following week, and they had to just be sure they, you know.
I think it's perfectly
God.
acceptable for the line of questioning that you used on Anthony Weiner, especially how close he was with the Clintons and all the stories and the narrative that have been surrounding that. At the same time, let's not rush to judgment or
Ever.
even speculate on what the Obamas did or the Bush did with the chef. I think it's a little too premature. I think that it's well within our right to bring it up, no doubt. Do I think there was anything nefarious? Do I think that the Obamas had the chef killed? Because no, I'm not there. You know how I feel about that.
100%.
But you do your thing.
Yeah.
I'll do my thing. I think that it does deserve attention, you know. And if you do want to look into it more, something tells me there was nothing nefarious going on here. But we'll see how the facts play
There's
out.
a 99% chance there was nothing
Zero.
nefarious going
He
on.
drowned.
But here's the part.
Yeah.
The one thing we need, does that mean the 1% chance doesn't require a level of accountability and due diligence and research? Not at all.
No doubt.
Go look it up and see what
Yeah.
comes out. But there's a 99% chance there was nothing nefarious going on
Yep.
here. In regards to Hillary Clinton, different story. It's one too many names. I think I'm not
Yeah.
at 99% chance. I'm probably closer to a different percentage, but it is what it is. So I want to show you a clip here. Why the American people, if you're somebody that's watching this and saying, man, I don't know if I trust the government as much as I used to, maybe you have a valid reason. So if you like this clip and you want
And you want to watch more, which we sort of kind of do. But yeah, I play these videos like this so y'all can get an understanding like this is really going on. There's really, really people out here that's under conspiracy theory or you can't talk, you can't know too much. Is it safe to know too much? Is the question, like, can we find a way to not get exposed or not be part of? Nobody want to be part of no conspiracy theory or something that's not real. I don't want to be part of something like that. Oh, I know this, I know that, and then they try to come and take me out. It was another important article that's brought up. But let me bring this up because this actually looks important too.
A federal
This is
judge in
about
California has blocked a Biden administration policy that severely restricted who can apply for asylum here in the U.S. The policy was put in place in May when COVID restrictions expired. It has coincided with a sharp decline in illegal border crossings. The rule disqualifies most migrants unless they have applied online or sought protection from another country they passed through. The judge stayed his ruling for 2 weeks to allow the government to appeal.
Kentucky Congressman James Comer.
Yeah, we gotta. I just want to play that real quick, let y'all know that the border lies and stuff like that is going crazy. Now, we talked about the border crisis, and you even see that
A federal judge.
your president don't even wants to let everybody over it. It's one way too many people over here trying to come over here. It's getting a tad bit not crowded, but getting a little bit to be unnecessary. Ba, 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 ba. Okay, so for once in my lifetime, I stopped actually went back to yesterday. I must have didn't watch too many, and I can't think. But this is
Walgreens.
I'm gonna play this because this also be happening, and this is important.
I just got punched in the face right now by some guy that was pissing on the street. And I'm really pissed off right now. I can't believe I live in a city where people can just piss in the street and come punch you in the face and get away with it. Guy just ran off. They're probably not going to find him. I'm fed up with this goddamn city. It's like, I can't just be outside and just running a business without getting punched in the goddamn face. So I'm pissed off right now. I'm really pissed off right now. I don't know. I just need to vent and I got to figure out what to do, but this is bullshit. Like, it shouldn't be this way at all. Like, this isn't how our city should be. I hope they find the guy. Yeah, I'm pissed off. So I'm sorry that I'm venting to y'all, but yeah, I don't know what to do. It's like, at what point is it too much where you just like can't be on the street and tell some guy to stop fucking pissing and get hit in the face? So, yeah, I'm frustrated. I'm really frustrated. I hope that something will come of this. Like I said, I hope they find the guy, and I'm really mad right now. And, yeah, hope y'all are doing well. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'll see you guys soon, I guess.
That's crazy.
All right, guys. So we got to talk about progressive wonderland, San Francisco, because CNN has experienced firsthand what it's like to live in that shithole of a city. Okay, and that's the only word that I can think of on top of my head to accurately describe the state of San Francisco, that has basically been run into the ground by progressive Democrat politicians. Now, as you saw at the beginning of this video, that was a shop owner going viral because of his experience dealing with criminals, okay, that are robbing his store, okay, that are assaulting people, that are basically agents of chaos, that, again, it's hard for him to even operate as a business owner. And a lot of these business owners are wondering, you know, when a Democrat politicians like Gavin Newsom, like the mayor of San Francisco, London Breed, when are they gonna step up and actually do something about what's happening in this city and in the state of California with all the lawlessness? Okay, so like I said, CNN is doing a rare moment of decent journalism here, as they went into Walgreens and experienced what all these business owners are experiencing firsthand, which is lawlessness, mainly theft.
Heard a lot about the major retailers leaving downtown San Francisco, but now some small business owners say they're considering moving out too.
Crime, homelessness issues, and expensive rules and regulations from the city all seem to be taking their toll. Here's NBC Bay Area Sergio Quintana in San Francisco.
Taqueria in Lower Nob Hill has earned a reputation as a hotspot serving up delicious Korean Mexican fusion food. But owner David Lee says he's about ready to throw in the towel.
But I'm kind of planning to close shop like around December. I'm just over it.
His latest frustration with the city is new regulations on the parklet he constructed during the pandemic. He showed us the long list of requirements from the SFMTA to bring it up to post-pandemic code. For years, it was a lifeline for his business. This week, he just decided to get rid of it.
I just decided that we are going to take it apart. So the night before, I told the guys to keep it open. And sure enough, there was a guy in there, no pants on.
In security camera video he shared, you can see an unhoused person in the parklet as the contractor is dismantling it piece by piece. Lee says chronic issues with the unhoused, open-air drug use, and crime in the neighborhood have all piled up. Earlier this year, his shop was broken into and thieves stole his cash register and an iPad he uses for orders. He did get a $1,000 small business vandalism grant from the city, but he says he's at his breaking point. According to the San Francisco Office of Small Business, they do not have figures on the number of small businesses that have closed since the start of the pandemic, but a spokesperson does say that they have other grants available to business owners who feel like they're on the bubble, and they can help them navigate through the city's bureaucracy.
Okay, so without further ado, I want to react to CNN witnessing the theft right in front of their faces. Apparently, they witnessed 3 of them, and kind of go from there. Because again, this is what you.
Not we sitting up here doing a report, y'all, and we watch crime happen. So your governor or your mayor or your senator, your governor, your mayor, or your senator, your governor, your mayor, your senator can see this live action footage, knowing that there's crime. Everybody know that it's crime. Stop playing. You know you may not stop the killer, but yes, there are laws. When people know that they're going to do hard time for petty crime, who cares about them jail cells or crime? Petty crime. We're not talking jaywalking. Petty theft, thievery. If people knew they was finna sit down for all of that stuff, and then you finna do 8 months for stealing a piece of gum. Everybody don't like you're wrong, but it's gonna stop crime. I believe businesses and black people be forgetting about crime and getting things taken away and taking a loss of something when you work hard for it until it hits them. I know plenty of people that got businesses that's probably not thinking about them taking them losses and want people to stop. And then they be like, oh man, I want to stop, but where are we trying to start? Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to start a petition out here to get the marijuana and sports to make sure they put money into the school system. I'm going to start protesting out there. That's going to be one of my hashtag Red Eye movements. I promise you that that's going to be one of my Red Eye movements is to make sure that happens. I want to actually start a movement, a petition that's going to actually go somewhere and do something for people when they are not paying attention and not seeing what's going on. I do believe this is the moment, this is the time, this is the space, this is where we need to be in life. And especially here in Nevada, with the school system so poorly down, I definitely want to make that move. I definitely want to make that jump.
You get when you vote Democrat, okay? Any small town, any mid-sized city, when you allow Democrats to run your city, this is eventually what it leads to, because these people become more and more and more progressive over time, okay? They don't become less progressive. They don't become less liberal. They become more liberal, more progressive, and this is where it leads to, right? This is where it leads to. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Richie Greenberg walked into a San Francisco Walgreens when he saw in the frozen food section this.
Chains, heavy chains that went from padlock to padlock on both sides of the doors. And this was bizarre, something I'd never seen before. This is just more icing on the cake, telling us that rampant crime has become a regular part of life.
So typical that in the 30 minutes we were at this Walgreens, we watched 3 people, including this man, steal.
Yeah. So as you can see here, you have Walgreens, one of the largest retailers in the country. They have padlocks on merchandise, right? You gotta go to an associate to get the freezer unlocked to get some ice cream, right? Because there's so much theft. There's so many people that are coming into the store just stealing and just walking out. Well, why is that? It's because the city's not going to do anything about it. Police aren't going to do anything about it. These people don't face any consequences. They get arrested. If they do get arrested, they might not even get charged with anything. And if they do get charged, then eventually gets dropped. They get let right back on the streets, and they do the same thing over and over and over again. Right?
Right? Right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is definitely what we see. Definitely. Wrong way. Definitely what we see. Crime. We're getting sensitive. Notice how we're getting sensitive everywhere we go. We're getting sensitive everywhere we go to where you're gonna, like, there's nothing that we can do. Like, we can do something about it. Let me say there's nothing we can do. There is something we can do about it. And that's vote. We're voting for the wrong shit. Okay? Promise you when I say we are voting for the wrong shit. Now, this story right here is going to come up next. Because we can talk about crime. We can talk about crime every day and all day. And the only way we're going to change crime is getting people. We got to listen to people who are truly strict on crime and like, hey, I need you. We gotta see these people that love the military, dumb boys. We gotta get them back. Them die-hearted USA people. I need the old Joe Biden back. I need Joe Biden back in the 80s. Man. We need stricter people for stricter laws. Because these laws that we got now, time and time again, we have proven they don't work. Now, this one is new. We got this community of people who's making their law. Now we got old laws that don't work. Now we got this new law, this new crime that's not a crime. What if you could take a crime that's not a crime and turn it into a crime? It's the best way I should be probably coming out talking about it. What if you can take something that's not a crime and turn it into a crime? What if you take freedom of speech away from somebody? Remember how I told y'all, freedom of speech is soon to be getting taken away from us. And I finally found that story to back this up about why freedom of speech is going to get taken from us. You can call it how you want to call it. You can take it how you want to take it. But check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Check this out. Now, we're going to go all the way back to the beginning. I want to make sure you guys heard this stuff.
All right, call it a misgendering misdemeanor. A new survey finds that nearly half of millennials think if you misgender a trans person, that should be a criminal offense.
Are y'all seeing this? Do y'all agree with this? Now I know people not see time like this because this is probably the story I probably should have led off with. I feel it. I understand. I should have led off with this. Do y'all think speech should be a crime? I'm gonna let y'all play the rest of this. I just want y'all to see. Make sure y'all see
Millennials
that
think
clearly.
if you misgender a trans person, that should be a criminal offense.
This story is insane. Now, Newsweek asked Americans whether misgendering a person should be considered a criminal offense. Now, before we get into the results, we need to understand this from a legal perspective. In the United States, we have what's known as the First Amendment, freedom of speech. Now, this places limitations on the government's ability to regulate speech. The Supreme Court has also made it clear that some speech is protected while other speech is not. So when we look at this, it's probably best to look at what's not protected because essentially by process of elimination, everything else is protected. Now, these are the type of speech that the Supreme Court considers not to be protected by the First Amendment, essentially saying the government can regulate this type of speech. Blackmail, defamation, fighting words, incitement of imminent lawlessness, national security, obscenity, perjury, plagiarism, solicitation of crimes, true threats, and illicit pictures involving children. We understand what all we all understand what that means. Now, if your speech doesn't fall into one of these categories, then you're likely okay. Now, this is a very simple explanation for something that's much more complex, but you get the gist of it. It is also important to note that things like the N-word or other racial slurs are protected by the First Amendment. The government can't regulate someone from saying the N-word on a public street, for instance. Now, the trans community has been advocating for misgendering to be a criminal offense, meaning the government should be allowed to regulate that speech. Here is a trans woman from CNN explaining it.
And next, Secretary Castro, I want to bring in Shay Diamond, a singer-songwriter from Los Angeles. She currently supports Mayor Pete Buttigieg. Shay, what's your question?
It's Shea Diamond.
Shea Diamond.
Put that on the record.
Okay. It's on the record. Thank you.
Yes, honey. It's violence to misgender or to alter a name of a trans person. So let's always get that right first.
Now, you have the right to offend people in the United States. Matter of fact, it's a constitutional right. That doesn't mean that there will not be social consequences for offending someone, but the government can't regulate that type of speech. They can't regulate offense. Think about it. If using the N-word, which is offensive, we all can agree the N-word is offensive, could be made criminal, if the N-word could be made criminal, how many rappers would be in jail, right? Just for saying that word. Now, is misgendering as bad as using racial slurs? No, I don't think so. And legally, you have the right to misgender someone just as you have the right to use a racial slur. But the government, remember this is the key point, the government can't punish you for using that racial slur or misgendering someone. But your friends or your social group can. Now, I want you to keep these facts in mind as we read this article from Newsweek. More millennials think referring to a transgender person by the wrong pronouns should be a criminal offense than think it should be legal, according to a new poll conducted exclusively on Newsweek. Now, I just want to be very clear before we go on to further than this, is that what they're asking for is that the government limit your constitutional rights, take more power from the people by making it illegal to offend someone, which is extremely, extremely dangerous because what's offensive changes from person to person, from group to group, from the speaker to speaker, right? A white person saying the N-word is different than a black person saying the N-word. Not me saying the N-word at work is different than me saying the N-word at a bar. There's so much context to it. That's why generally offense doesn't meet the criteria for a violation of the First Amendment. According to the survey, 44% of those aged 25 to 34 think referring to someone by the wrong gender pronoun, he, him, or she, her, should be a criminal offense versus 31% who disagree. The remainder neither agree nor disagree or don't know. Now, this is shocking, because if you were to ask those people if calling someone a racial slur should be a criminal offense, I would like to hear what they would say. I would love to see if they would say, yeah, I believe it should be, or no, if they shouldn't be. I think the numbers would be drastically different, because we all know that racial slurs are legal and are constitutionally protected. So misgendering, I think, easily qualifies as something that is freedom of speech and that cannot be regulated by the government. So I don't think there's any possibility that this can be made illegal. So this is hopeful, but I think this really shows the ignorance of the public. This view remains popular for those aged 35 to 44, among whom 38% think misgendering should be illegal, while 35% disagree and 26% don't know either way. Now, it even shows you the older you get, the more people, I think, start realizing that this gives the government too much power and that we need to kind of scale this back. But even that, more people believe it should be made illegal. So that's scary, because isn't that what they say about free speech? Free speech dies to a round of applause. You know, stop them from saying the bad things. But that is not what free speech is. That's tyranny. The rights of transgender people whose gender identity doesn't match their sex they were given at birth. You know, I got to stop there. No one gives you sex at birth, right? It's like I see the sky, which is blue, and I'm assigning it the color blue. Nobody assigned it the color blue. It is blue, right? No one assigns a baby gender or sex, right? It just, these are the sex organs that you have, and we identify that as being male, and we have, you have a gender of woman, and these organs conform with that, right? It's not assigning, you're just identifying what you see. So what they're trying to do is make the hard reality of sex, because it's a hard reality. This is the sex that you are at birth, and trying to say that some doctors are out there looking at it and saying, well, you know what, I'm going to assign you to be a male even though you have female parts. That's not how it works. Matter of fact, I would like to see the doctor who has a child, let's say born male, and then tries to assign them the birth certificate says they're female. That doesn't work. No, you're not allowed to do that. I think that would be illegal if they put the wrong gender on the birth certificate intentionally, right? But it is what it is. And the corresponding impact on women's rights has developed into a hot political issue across the United States. Republican controlled states have passed a string of laws impacting transgender people, such as banning sex change operations or hormone treatments for minors. I agree with all that. I don't believe you should be allowing 7-year-olds or 6-year-olds to transition from one gender to the next, because I don't think they have the mental capacity to really understand what that decision means. We know that transitioning someone before puberty is irreversible, so that's an issue that also has to deal with. It's just so complicated, but I think right now it's best to refrain from changing someone in an irreversible way than allowing those changes to go through. According to the Pew Research Center, a millennial is someone between 1981 through born between 1981 and 1986. So they're giving you the breakdown. But obviously, the younger you get, the more you're in agreement that this should be illegal. They tell you the poll was 1,500 people. And let me see. However, the figure of millennials contrasts starkly with that for Americans as a whole. So now they're talking about, so we asked just millennials who are very, very crazy with this. Now they're asking everybody. So among whom just 19% of Americans, right? Out of everybody they pulled, only 19% want misgendering to be a criminal offense. Thank God, because it lets me know that most of the people in the United States are sane people, while 65% disagree and 12% don't know either way. Yeah, it's ridiculous, because there are worse things that you can call somebody than misgendering them, and all those things are legal. I wish I can say more of these on stream, even though they violate YouTube's terms of service. But just imagine the things I can say here that would be worse than misgendering a person, but it would be legal. Crazy. Now, this is another interesting twist to this whole study. Notably, Gen Z, those are people who are even a little younger, from ages 18 to 24, who can vote, are notably less keen on making misgendering a crime than other millennials. Among that group, only 33% consider calling someone by the wrong pronoun should be a criminal offense, while 48% disagree. So this is the people who are just going into college and in college. They disagree. They're like, that's crazy. So it seems like right after they get out of college, that's when they just go stir crazy. I think that's the social media effect. Yeah, misgendering is a crime, blah, blah, blah. But it seems like the parents raised them right. send them off to college, and they say, yeah, this is ridiculous, just like their parents. And then after that 4 years of indoctrination, they come out and they're like, yeah, it's got to be made illegal. More Americans said they would refer to both transgender men and women by their requested pronouns, of course, than would refuse to do so. Of course, I would definitely. I'll call you what you want. Remember? I would even call you a pimp named Slickback if you wanted to be called a pimp named Slickback. In total, 37% said they would call someone who was previously a male, she or her, if requested. 70% said they would continue to use the he, his pronouns. 28% saying it depends, and 17% said they did. Now, one of the things that I find to be interesting is that the repercussions of this, I can identify as whatever I want, right? I can identify as a man, I can identify as a woman. See, for those of you who don't know, in the United States, we have what's known as selective service. It's essentially the draft. So if the United States goes to war and we need men to fight, we have a law that says if you're a man over the age of 18, you can be enlisted to fight for your country, right? By force. It's compelled fighting. It's the draft. It's called selective services. Now, the draft hasn't happened in generations, but the law is still there where if you are a male and you do not sign up for the selective services, you get fined. So what this congressman is asking is that a law be passed that changes the definition of male in the federal government. So in other words, if you just identify as a male, you don't have to actually physically be a male, but if you now identify as a male and say, hey, I was a woman and now I'm a male and I'm identifying as a male, you too must now sign up for selective services and be held to the same standards as the men who are compelled to do it by law. But the Democrats, they say no. So check out his little speech. Listen to this.
The Biden administration is so serious about prioritizing so-called equity that no one should have a problem with my amendment to the National Defense Authorization Act, which would require anyone who identifies as a man to register for the Selective Service. If these folks want to be treated like men, they need to act like men. I don't support the woke agenda, as you know. I'm fully against it. But if Democrats want to play ball, then let's play some ball. Let's see what excuses they come up with for opposing this plan. It puts some real responsibility on the folks that we're all sick of these games. We're sick of the Democrat leaders' hypocrisy. But if they insist on going down this road, they should expect the responsibility that comes with it. Or we could toss the whole woke agenda in the garbage can where it belongs.
So now, at the end of the day, what do you people think? Now, I think this is ridiculous, but I've been wrong before, and I could be wrong again. I think this is dangerous thinking when we start trying to regulate other speech so they can't offend people. I've been offended before. I've offended other people before. People have offended me before. And sometimes you may offend someone and not even know it. But misgendering someone, really? That's ridiculous. And what do you think about this selective services issue? Should men or people who identify as men be forced to sign up to selective service? Now, we also saw a little bit of this in Ukraine. When Russia invaded and Ukraine, they were saying, well, hey, any man over the age of 18 can't leave the country. You got to come fight for your country because we need all hands on deck. And then people who are identifying as women were trying to leave, and they were like, no, brother, no. You're coming to fight, throw a rifle in their hand. And was like, we're going to the front lines. You're a man. So it seems like whenever, blank hit the fan, all the whole gender, affirming stuff went out the window, and it was like, what's between your legs? Because we need you to go to war. But, I'm torn in one way, because I do understand, if you just imagine if you feel like you're trapped in the wrong body, but you can't force everyone else to appease one group, even to the point where you're trying to strip others' constitutional rights away from them to appease one group. But again, tell me in the comment section where I'm wrong. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'm out of here. Peace.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
When I seen that article, I was shocked. I was appalled. I was like, what in the fuck is going on here? But yet again, how many times have I explained to y'all? That they're going after our freedom of speech, and just prove my point that they're going after freedom of speech. And yes, I am with, let me say that one more time. I am with them saying that, hey, you're a guy, you want to claim you're a guy, you gotta go to war. I promise you, I was just speaking this to my friends. I was like, yo, what makes you an adult in America? And everybody was like, oh, a job and a crib and all this. I was like, no, registering to vote, registering yourself into, documenting into being into the army, that makes you an adult in America. I don't care what you think makes you an adult. I didn't never ask nobody what do you think makes you an American? Because then whatever you think makes you an American, you can tell me your own opinion. It's whatever. But what factually, what the United States of America considers an adult is when you're registered to vote. How old do you gotta be to register to vote? And when you sign that piece of paper, that means you are an adult. Like you said, 18. So, all you transgender people, there's females and women, and y'all want to do this, and we gotta go to war, and they draft. Oh man, I'll let you. You think they're gonna change back? You remember a long time ago, we also heard that if you change your gender, change your name, you get your sentence expunged. All that crime just goes away. So yeah, man, this freedom of speech thing is really, really starting to take hold. I thought it was really gonna be with the senators at the in the Oval Office with the lady and the dude. I can't think of their names at the moment. I really thought it was gonna be them, but then this article right here is taking the cake. It's really showing us that okay, this is how they're gonna take freedom of speech. They're not gonna come at it at one angle. I thought it was just gonna be one angle, y'all. They're gonna come at freedom of speech at so many different angles. They're gonna come at it from this way, this way, this way, this way, this way. And then freedom of speech is gonna be smothered. Then we're gonna be looking like France and Italy and Beijing and Pakistan, and I don't wanna look like that. I wanna be able to talk my shit, don't like my president, and think he suck, think he worse, and talk that shit. Keep on going, don't like the LGBTQ because you motherfuckers is trying to take everything. You trying to lock us up. And I said that a long time ago. People be laughing at me. Oh, Michael, you're crazy. Why you think capiche? I need to really, really understand, bro. They're really, really trying to lock us up. And now I'm not up here finna sit up here and say, oh no, they're just trying to lock up black people. No. They're trying to lock up true, hard American citizen people that thinks different. Yes, that's what they're trying to do. Yes, that's what you're trying to see. Yes, that's what they're trying to do. We're seeing this every day, bros. Y'all see this every day. That report alone is just like, do y'all think Robert F. Kennedy Jr. should debate Joe Biden for the primary position? I think so. Now, when I heard the story about Chicago getting their reparations through marijuana laws, and then I've been investigating on the Oakland A's stadium, on the Oakland A's coming here. I've been investigating on the Raiders coming here. I've been doing some research because I'm out here and these are my teams now. And come to find out, some goals that they had put in to place are not actually coming true, are not actually, these sports companies are not holding up their part of the bargain. And now I am going to find a way to start protesting that we get money into these school systems out here. I know people probably like, man, why you ain't trying to get reparations? Because I think this is more serious. It's getting the sports and marijuana industry to get inside these schools and rate the school levels up out here in Nevada. I believe that's way more important. I think that's something that I am going to try to start protesting. I'm start looking into. I'm gonna start going to some of these events. Shout out to MROB. Shout out to everybody that really fucks with me in this marijuana industry, because I'm starting to see like, where can I fit in? What can I do? How can I make a difference? And yet again, this is how I believe we can make a difference out here. I'm just gonna start sitting down with my team and putting some things together and see what we can do and what steps I need to take to start. And then I'm put it all up on my page and stuff on Cannabis Conservative and stuff like that. And we're gonna get this started. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about doing this project. This is maybe the first or the second time that me actually announcing this project. So be hearing from me, y'all. I will be taking somewhat of a break for like 3 weeks. I need not to be taking on breaks right when I'm getting started. I'm getting juicy with something. So I might be uploading videos. I don't know. But my work schedule has changed. And it's gonna be real hectic. It's gonna get real crazy. So it's probably either gonna be less videos or 30-minute videos. You're probably gonna have to shorten it down and something like that. They're gonna probably be random out the blue at different times. Even though I get better people coming in during the daytime and stuff like that, whatever. But I'm gonna be doing this for about a month and a half, 2 months, however it takes for me to handle this business that I gotta handle, and also start putting getting out here with the petitions and start getting people to sign. And I know that's the first thing I gotta do is get a petition and start getting it signed. There's already one started off in Nevada where they're trying to stop the stadium from getting built and have more money going to the school system. I am definitely for that petition. I think anybody in Nevada that watch my show should sign up and do that. That's highly important. This is very important to me. I hope that y'all be able to help me out if we get into this and we can show out and show off. Okay? Now, I'm not going to hold y'all. Y'all know me. I'm not going to hold y'all. I love y'all to death. Until next time.